Chapter 14 of Deadwood Dick, Jr., Branded. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Deadwood Dick, Jr., Branded by Edward L. Wheeler. Chapter 14. Susana to the Rescue. Deadwood Dick believed that the end of his eventful career had come at last. There was not a ray of hope for him, and he was faint and sick from the intense pain of the hot iron that had been laid upon his breast. With his hands tied and his head swimming, he was powerless to resist his foes, and the rope was quickly placed around his neck, and he was dragged in the direction of a tree near at hand. He was not even asked if he had a last word to say. The end of the rope was thrown over the limb, the cutthroats caught hold of it, and pulled, and Deadwood Dick, the fearless, the generous, was swung clear of the ground, and the end of the rope was secured to the body of the tree. "Is he to be shot as well?" demanded one of the villains. "No, he ain't worth wasting good powder and lead on," was the response from another. "That's so," said a third. "Let him swing and think about it while his spirit is working itself loose in their shell." "Come on, their captain said to come to their cabin at onct." "Hooray! Goodbye, Deadwood Dick." With whoop and yell they hastened from the scene of their dastardly outrage, and followed in the direction Captain Joaquin had taken. Barely had they gone, when a panting form sprang out of a crevice in the rocks. It was Susana. With a suppressed cry she ran to the tree with all speed, and with a single sweep of a keen knife severed the rope. Deadwood Dick dropped to the ground heavily, all limp and apparently lifeless, and the young woman was at his side instantly, her eager fingers at work at the noose. It was quickly loosened and removed. "He must not die! He shall not die!" she cried to herself. "I will save him for his revenge. You accused me of loving him, Captain Joaquin. Wrongly accused me. But I will love him now, love him with my whole heart, for you have made me hate you, hate you." She lifted Dick's head and pressed warm and passionate kisses upon his face, believing he was wholly unconscious. To her surprise, her last kiss was returned. She sprang up with a startled little cry and released her hold instantly. "I owe my life to you," said Dick in low tone. "I shall not soon forget the obligation, I promise you." "I regret that I could not save you the torture you had to undergo," was the response. "You heard his threats. I was afraid to say another word in your favor." "I am glad that you did not do so. But release me quickly, and let me get hold of my weapons, which they left yonder on the ground. They may return, and not only my life but yours is now at stake. There will be another reckoning before the account is closed." She freed his hands even while he was speaking. "Yes, there will be another reckoning," she said in low, intense tones, "and in it I will be on your side. I hate him now as much as I ardently loved him before, or thought I loved him. How blind I was to his true character!" "Do you know what is good for a burn?" Dick asked. Yes, yes. Why did I not think of it? How you must suffer! Wait, I will dress that wound in a moment." Snatching a brand from the fire in which the horseshoe had been heated, she sought eagerly around and plucked here and there a kind of weed that grew in the rock crevices. While she was thus engaged, Dick secured his revolvers, and also the horseshoe with which he had been branded. The latter was still hot, of course. Having gathered some of the weeds, the girl laid them on a stone, and pounded them to a pulp, and tearing a strip from an article of her linen, she spread the poultice upon it. "Now let me fix it," she said to Dick. Dick sat down and bared his breast, and she applied the cooling pulp to the wound, the contact causing Dick to give a sigh of relief. "That feels good," he said. "It will soon draw out the fire," said the girl, "and it will aid the wound to heal quickly, too." Securing the poultice in place as well as possible, she fastened Dick's shirt over it, and when she had done, Dick took her in his arms and embraced her, returning the kisses she had given him. "You have given me your life," he said. "What can I do for you in return?" "Give me your protection," was the response. "You shall have that to the death." "And let me aid you in your revenge against that monster. Ugh! How I hate him now!" "But he is your husband." "No, no, he was not my husband. I am free as a bird. I loved him, and would have wed him, but I am thankful my eyes were opened before I was linked to him for life." "Then you desire to escape him now?" "Heavens, he would murder me now, after what I have done. Yes, yes, I desire to escape. I want you to protect me." "Enough said," agreed Dick, giving her another embrace and releasing her. "I'll try and do something in return for the risk you have taken for me, and together we will hunt him down." "At once?" "No, we will let him feel secure for a time, and the blow will be all the greater when it falls. But—" "What?" "Are you to be depended on?" "To be depended on? I do not understand you, sir." "Call me Dick. I mean, will you hold out to the end when it comes to the test?" "Will I hold out?" "Perhaps your love will rekindle, and you will balk my revenge when it comes to the hour." "No, no, 1,000 times no. My hate is even more intense than was my love. No, no, I will not falter. I am now yours, if you will let me be yours, and our purpose is one." "It is a bargain," said Dick. "Here is my hand, little pard." The girl placed her hand in his. "Hands up, both of you!" The voice was so near that both were startled, and Dick felt a gun behind his ear. It was so sudden that Dick obeyed before the thought came to him to resist, but perhaps it was as well, for that might have meant his instant death.
"It is Booth!" cried the girl in dismay. "We are lost! Lost!"
"Bet your life you are," said the man. "You forgot to reckon me, I guess. It took me a good while to worm up into that peak by the crevice inside and take this galoot by surprise, and it has took me a good while to get down again. But here I am, and here you be, too."
"And what do you expect to do with us?" answered Dick grimly.
"Take you straight to Captain Joaquin, of course."
"Never," said the young woman.
"I'll show you, you turn— Ugh!" Deadwood Dick's foot had suddenly caught the fellow in the middle, and over he went with a grunt terrific. No sooner had he fallen than the girl was upon him, and her knife was buried in his breast straight and true, and the cutthroat stiffened out to rise no more.
"There is one less," she said, rising. "I never killed a human before, but I would kill a score rather than be taken back to that man. Thank heaven we are free yet, Dick. Do you want further proof of my devotion to you? Can you ask it?"
"I did not ask anything more than your word, Susana. You are a pard worth having. We will hang this fellow to the tree where they hanged me, and should they come this way again, they will believe that Deadwood Dick is still there where they have left him, and the surprise will be all the greater when the blow falls, as fall it must." End of Chapter 14. Recording by Arnold Banner, Mount Vernon, Maine.